Welcome back, guys, to another episode or the second episode in this very early stage podcast journey I'm embarking upon of the Quiet Edge podcast. I wanted to jump on here today to talk a little bit about a theme that I'm truly passionate about, and I think it really transforms our personal growth journey if we really embrace it. And that is the theme of acceptance not being so much about accepting your flaws, but that there is another dimension of inner acceptance. You know, most of the times when people talk about, oh, you got to accept yourself, you got to accept all of yourself. Absolutely, you got to accept all of yourself. But I think where our mind goes immediately when we talk about accepting all of ourselves is accepting our flaws, accepting the things we struggle with. And we definitely, absolutely have to make space for that. And I encourage that. And I think it is so beautiful to make space for all the parts in you that feel insecure, that you're still growing in, that you're still wrestling with, and to kind of bring a greater harmony to these parts and to trust and to know that everything you're struggling with is part of your journey and it's leading somewhere. It's leading to more. It's ultimately leading to more of yourself, more of your true self, your true expression. But I think something that doesn't get talked about often, something I've been thinking about recently, is accepting our greatness and accepting our innate value and worth and accepting our intrinsic divine worth. And how so many of us, we are under this impression that we have to do all this inner work and we have to fix these patterns and we have to heal these childhood traumas and we have to do more of these habits, right? And I think there's this impression that we have to just get everything right, get all the puzzle pieces together, and then once we then are the highest version of ourselves or a better version of ourselves, then we'll be happy. And I think it is true to an extent that when we feel called to certain growth and making certain changes in our lives, we should absolutely embark upon that, right? But I think what a lot of people on the path of personal growth, or what I just don't see as often, and this is just my experience, is that we don't actually spend time in really accepting the greatness of our divine nature, really accepting the greatness and coming in touch with the greatness that is already within us right now. This untouching wholeness that when we come deeper in contact with the present moment, we can begin to feel that and we can begin to open up to that. And in that coming in touch with the present moment, in coming in touch with that wholeness, we begin to actually feel more of ourselves, feel more of our innate qualities. You could call them soulful skills or soulful gifts, right? Just the intrinsic gifts and qualities that are within you, whether that's your love, your kindness, right? A certain skill that you have, a certain natural ability that you have, right? And I think we oftentimes don't feel like we're worthy of accepting that at our core, we are already everything that we're looking for. And I want to say that again, at your core, and you on a level of the mind right now, as you're listening to this, you can agree with it, you can disagree with it. It is totally fine either way. But just my reminder to you, or my invitation, is to feel, what if at your core, everything that you're looking for in life is already within you? You don't need to go on this journey to become more. Actually, you've simply always been on a journey of revealing the diamond you've always been, and that's always been within you. And you kind of release the shackles that have kept you small and that limit you, mainly from your ability to see clearly, and seeing clearly meaning seeing clearly how beautiful you really are, and how naturally whole you already are. And so I wanted to talk about this in this episode because I think it can be, in some way, when we really embrace it, it can be a little bit of a game changer for us on our personal growth journey. I think it takes the pressure of us to constantly need to look at ourselves and look at, oh, this is still what I'm doing wrong, or what I need to fix, or what I need to transform, because I think that in itself can create a pressure and a sense of overwhelm that it almost becomes its own pattern on a journey of personal growth. And I speak on this a lot. And maybe if you listen to me, you've gotten bored of me speaking about it, but I speak about it because I've experienced it so intrinsically. This constant pressure that I need to fix myself, or need to become even more of myself, never really feeling fully settled that in myself, that I am okay, and that there is value, profound value, simply in my being, and that I don't need to constantly be working on myself in order to make progress. In fact, that the deepest progress is sometimes a subtle progress, a quiet progress that is a result of deeper inner connection. It is the result of you connecting with what's intrinsically whole already within you. And this is why I speak about presence so much, or the present moment, because the more you feel into that innate quality of being, that part of you, and right now as I'm speaking about it, maybe you can feel into it with me, that part of you that is always just being in the background of your experience, in the background of your thoughts, in the background of your feelings, in the background of the narratives you experience, the stories you experience. In the background of all of that, there is actually just something that is just being, and it is unchanging about you. It is a being that is unchanging about you. Most of the time, we're not really, or many of us are not connecting to the quality of being, because on a logical, rational level, well, what is there to get out of being? It seems boring. It seems to the mind is like, well, there's no progress there. I'm just being still. Like, oh, what is that? What good does it do for me, right? Like, it doesn't have this tangible, productive quality to it on some level, even though as you connect to it deeper and deeper and deeper, you will find the profound impact it has on your life, on the calmness of your nervous system, right? How much spaciousness you have within you, your intuition, your ability to feel into things and feel into other people and what they need, right? All of that just begins to skyrocket and expand the more intimately you become connected to that which has always been whole within you. But to our mind, and if we're operating in our life solely from this outcome-oriented approach of I need to do things that get me somewhere in the future, if that is our main driver, then we'll often not find enough value in slowing down and actually connecting to our innate self. But at the end of the day, doesn't it make sense that you will feel most natural, most authentic, most naturally you when you're being yourself? And being yourself has to then incorporate the very quality of simply being, where no doing or needing to do is put on top of it. Or, in other words, the doing begins to flow from your innate connection to what is already always peacefully simply being within you. And when I speak about accepting your greatness, what I really mean is beginning to accept that that is your true nature, and that that divine nature has no flaws whatsoever, in a way is perfect the way it is, because that essence, that presence, that quiet quality of stillness within you, it's never arguing that life should be different. It's never arguing that it needs something more. The one that's arguing is the thoughts in your mind, right? The identity we've created begins to create beliefs, and those beliefs begin to kind of argue or think certain ways, right? And I need this, and this here isn't right. This moment isn't okay. It's not okay where I am, right? All of that comes from a belief structure that has been created through our upbringing and over time, and through our unique kind of way that we grew up. But your innate nature, that quiet place, and the more you kind of contemplate and sit with yourself in stillness, where you kind of put aside the need to get anywhere right now, the more you do that, the more you come in touch with that innate quality of stillness within you. And the more you explore the innate quality of stillness, the more you kind of feel this space is pretty profound, because there's nothing wrong here. I can feel a sense of peace. I can feel a sense of well-being here, where I don't need to be different right now, and all feelings and thoughts that are coming and going are welcome in this quality, in this being, right? And so the more you explore that, it's like your belief system begins to shift slowly but surely from this feeling of I need to constantly earn my love, earn something in the world in order to feel value or worthy, to actually feeling, wow, my heart is opening in this presence. My heart is opening in this stillness, and I actually feel a sense of love, a sense of warmth, a sense of feeling at home, and a sense of everything is okay and well within me right now in this moment. And the only part of me that argues with that are little thoughts in the mind that are arguing. And where do these thoughts actually arise out of? They arise out of the greatness of your being. And so when I talk about acceptance, not just being an acceptance of your flaws, which of course is important that we accept all parts of ourselves, but when we speak about accepting all parts of ourselves, can you also begin to accept the innate greatness that is already within you in every living second that you breathe on this planet and beyond? And can you begin to come in touch with that? And most of the time when I say this right now, it might sound abstract, or it might sound as something, oh, that sounds nice, but I don't feel it. And the way to actually feel it in a deeper way is to make space for the inner connection with your spirit. Because the more you intentionally connect with your spirit, or this quality of being in you, the more you start to intuitively and viscerally in your body feel relaxed, and you start to feel the sense of peace expand within you, and you start to feel the greatness that I'm talking about right now. The greatness that doesn't need to prove itself through good deeds or through good actions. The greatness that is just simply infinitely valuable simply because it is. Simply because you exist. And I think it is so easy in our fast-paced world to disconnect from this innate sense of value. This value that doesn't need to do or to prove in order to be valuable, and isn't the main conditioned idea or belief that so many of us live through. I want to be loved, but I have to earn it, right? And whether that's through good degree or good grades or a good job or a high-paying career, or right, we chase the things that we feel ultimately make us worthy of love. But what if we flip the script and we start to realize that who you are and what you are has always been worthy of love? In fact, what you are is the essence of love, and love is what you are. And as abstract as that might sound, when you connect to that on an intuitive level, you start to feel it, and it starts to feel true to you, and it starts to feel relaxing and grounded, and there is a sense in you, and that's your soul that knows, no, this is actually the truth. This is the deepest truth, and all of the beliefs that I've lived through my entire life that tell me I need to earn my love have actually just been placed on top of that innate value that is within me. But I think it's not easy to simply shift your self-perception through rearranging your beliefs, or saying, or affirming in the mirror, right? Like, oh, I'm worthy, I'm valuable, which, a lot of the personal development will speak to you about shifting your mindset and your self-perception. And as helpful as that can be, I think innately it becomes more tangible the more we actually feel that divine essence, and the more we come in touch with it, because that will energetically inform us what will always be hard for our mind to believe. It is not something that can be understood through thoughts and words. It is something that is understood through feeling, through deep innate feeling. And accepting your greatness, accepting what is already great within you, is therefore accepting the connection that is always seeking you, that inner spiritual connection that deep down you're yearning for. And as much as you're yearning for it, it is always seeking to connect deeper to you, to communicate with you, to let you know that you're loved. And the more you open yourself, and I think that's really the process of accepting your greatness, is opening yourself and saying, I'm tired, I'm exhausted of chasing my worth. I am tired of needing to prove my value. I'm tired of running and running and running on this infinite treadmill of personal growth and needing to become better and better and better, but I feel like I'm never landing. I'm tired of it. Please, I want to connect to what is truly already whole within me. And as you send that prayer out into the universe, you will be received, because it is a genuine expression of, I am tired and fatigued of doing everything myself. I am tired to be the one in charge. I'm tired to be the one in control, because ultimately, because we are one with spirit, it isn't natural for us to be in control. What is natural for us is to listen to the gentle whispers of our soul, of the divine within us, and follow that guidance with courage and with presence and with gentleness, and to feel that we are carried and held. And that will strengthen our faith, because the more we follow that inner voice that is awakened, the moment you are actively open to that inner connection, not by forcing it, but by asking for it, the more you will be guided. And the more you follow in little steps that guidance, the stronger that connection will be, and the stronger your trust to your innate divine intelligence will become. And there's no way around it. But most people are not looking for that divine intelligence, or they're not trusting that divine intelligence. Well, you can't really trust it if you don't viscerally experience it as a truth that keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger as you reaffirm it. And I think accepting ourselves, accepting our authentic self and the struggles that we still have on this path, but also accepting. What if you right now in this moment could take a second and accept the beauty of your still essential nature that doesn't need anything from you, that doesn't expect anything from you, and that doesn't require anything from you to be loved? What if you could accept right now that that was true? Right now in this moment. What if you could accept that? And I want you to feel right now what stories or narratives might come up that might argue with that. Because if there's a thought that's coming up, well, I don't feel anything. How can I accept that? That doesn't feel like the truth. Can you see that these are thoughts arising, coming up? But where are these thoughts actually arising out of? Because can you agree that you are the witness, the observer, the one that sees these thoughts come? And doesn't that also mean that you are not bound to the thoughts, that the thoughts aren't you, but that the thoughts are arising within you because you are the one aware of them coming and going? And if you're the one aware of thoughts coming and going, then doesn't that already make you a vast, powerful essence you can't really describe? Because what within you is aware of the thoughts coming and going is the big question. Is the big elephant in the room that when we really explore that question, isn't there a profoundness in the fact that you are aware of the thoughts and stories and narratives that create an identity of who you think you are? But what if you aren't just who you think you are, but something deeper innately that is just always aware of these thoughts and stories and narratives? And what if those thoughts for a moment wouldn't be there? The thoughts that argue with the fact that you are loved right now, the very way that you are. If that thought isn't there, then what is there? Well, if that thought isn't there or other thoughts aren't there for that moment, then there's stillness. And in stillness, you will start to intuitively sense and viscerally sense that there is such a well-being and peace already within you. Because in that moment when the thoughts have passed and you're not identified with the thoughts, you are just relaxed back and settled back in your true nature. And the moment you come back and settle back in your true nature, the moment you become aware of that consciousness within you itself. That's why the great sages, right, point to the practice of be aware of awareness, because when you are aware of awareness, you're aware of what is aware within you. You're aware of the existential source of your experience. And the moment that awareness meets itself, which is you aware of the stillness that exists underneath the thoughts you're experiencing, the moment you're aware of that, there begins to be an opening in your nervous system. And peace floods in. Peace, inner peace streams in. Because inner peace is the absence of arguments. Inner peace is the absence of this moment should be different. I should be further ahead. Inner peace is the absence of the inner narrator that always interprets everything, but can never receive what has already been given. And right now in this moment, I want to transmit to you that what you are is already profoundly beautiful, and you don't need to do anything else. You don't need to earn this beauty. You don't need to earn your way to even feeling this. You simply for a moment need to open your heart and say, I welcome in the well-being and inner peace that has always been my birthright, that has always been my nature, and I welcome it in right now. What if you say that right now, and how does that feel to you, and how does your nervous system respond? What is the quality of feeling that you experience as a result? Take a moment to feel that. And whatever you're feeling right now, whether it is a quality of peace, quality of well-being, or maybe a mixed feeling where there is peace, but there's also sadness, there's also pain. What if everything that is arising right now could be seen as the very perfect thing that is meant to arise right now? Why? Because it is here, right? And if something is here, there must be some value in it, otherwise it wouldn't be here. Because it is not something you control for it to come and go. It is simply here right now. So if something is simply here right now that you haven't controlled to be here, what if we can be at peace with it? Because the moment we're not at peace with it, or the moment we're fighting that, we're saying this isn't meant to be here, but isn't there some logical truth even in the fact that it is here right now and you didn't place it there? Something else must have placed it there. So maybe it's what's meant to be here. Can you have that level of trust and faith in the very experience you're having? If there's physical pain, or for me, I'm feeling some tension in the chest, what if that is perfectly welcome here? And we can have this gentle relationship with what is here in terms of our feelings and even our thoughts. You don't need to try to accept yourself. You simply need to relax back into the very presence that has accepted you since the moment you were born, and that will eternally always accept and love you forever. And I know these might sound just like fluffy words, but can you feel underneath the words? And what does that invoke in your heart? And what does that invoke in your experience? What if you could just relax back into that space that is pure acceptance, rather than trying so hard to accept and make that another thing on your to-do list of personal growth, of inner growth? What if for a moment you would just relax? And if you were just to relax for a moment of trying anything, could you feel, or can you feel, that there's already a sense of acceptance because there is no argument with what's here? You know, there are parts of me and parts of my life and parts of my journey, or parts that I experienced, that there's still a part of me I can't accept that. There's still parts of me that are like, I can't accept that I'm still here, or that I'm still struggling with this, right? Like, one of my main patterns on my journey, on my own path, has been just sometimes being lost in this constant process of questioning myself, and the self-doubt of I should be somewhere different, but I'm not. And I have, despite all the deep spiritual integrations and experience I've had, have in moments slipped into this innocent experience of questioning the living crap out of myself. And then realizing that I am trapped in some kind of questioning myself and trying to get myself out of it. But the actual solution to that is just the moment I become aware, I practice, let me just relax back into that space that is already perfectly accepting me the way I am right now. That place where I'm already safe and where I don't need to figure something out right now. The reason that I teach presence in the present moment and the beauty of recognizing this nature within you is because it has helped me so deeply to feel that well-being and peace that just feels like innate spiritual truth, that just feels at the deepest of levels in my heart, this feels like truth. And that has helped me relax more, because most of my life I've not felt relaxed. I've always felt this tension of I need to do something. I'm not enough yet. I need to do more. I need to become more. In the moment I'm truly grounded and landed in the present moment, in my being, in simply that which is just being, I feel the truth of that, and I feel that my struggle of trying to do everything myself is futile, and that it doesn't lead me. That questioning of myself, even though it has a positive motivation in the sense that it wants to make me better, I don't actually become better through it. I just spiral more in the fact that I don't feel enough. In the moment I relax back into that, which has always been at peace, it's like my nervous system gets an infusion of all is well and you're okay right now. And there's nothing right now to figure out. I will inform you what there is to do when you need to know it. But right now, you trying to figure everything out is you not feeling safe. And we don't feel safe when we're not connected, spiritually and intrinsically, to that place that fills us with a profound well-being and safety in our nervous system. When we don't intentionally spend some time in some shape or form, it doesn't have to be daily meditations, but some time of contemplation to really feel into that within you that has already accepted you, that is already at peace. if we don't nourish ourselves in that way, the chance and probability that the conditioned nervous system that feels like we're not safe and needs to brace against experience and needs to somehow accumulate all this stuff to make us feel safe will take over and will pull us out of that which has always been safe within you. And so accepting yourself and your greatness is really about spending time with that which in you, with that within you that has always been safe and that doesn't know unsafety and that has always been okay. And then as you receive that safety through that experience of well-being that showers you, that begins to shower you, the more you open to it, the more your nervous system will kind of receive that infusion. And then you will begin to, in your everyday life, begin to feel more and more safe in yourself. Our deepest struggles and challenges really are us not feeling safe and trying to figure it out ourselves and control something. And I think so much of what we do is, when we're unconscious, is driven by this feeling of not being safe right now. So we try to build something where we're safe in the future. But you'll never build something where you're safe in the future until you turn inwards to the very source of safety and well-being that has always been here all along. Accept yourself. Not by trying, not by forcing, oh, I need to accept myself. Accept all of you by coming back in touch to remember that which is always okay. And let your nervous system feel the beautiful benefits of a life devoted to feeling that presence, that sense of self that is unshakable through each trial and tribulation of life. Through each storm that life brings to you, there's always this unshakable well-being and presence within you. And the more you are connected to it in your life, the more you feel that, the more it will guide you and hold you, the more it will strengthen you, and you become more and more unshakable in your lived experience. And that will take time, of course, to integrate, as that presence begins to also heal the wounds and the traumatic memories that live deep within ourselves. That will take time. But communing with that, or connecting with that, which is already at peace deep within you, will never lead you astray. That doesn't mean you have to exaggerate it or be in it all the time or seek it or make it another object to chase as if that's the ultimate thing. But it's just a genuine, authentic reaching out to what's at the very core of you and being curious about that. And the reason I talk so much about that presence is because I want to inspire you to connect with the deepest nature of you and to realize that there's something in you that is so unshakably beautiful and full of love, because that's really what you want to connect to. It will fill your life with so much meaning, and everything will begin to make more sense. And it will fill you with a safety you cannot find simply by chasing the next external outcome or result or element of success. Let success be an expression of how well you feel in yourself and how inspired you are to spread this love, this beauty to the world in your own unique way, through your own unique passions. Let success be the result of that. I have worked with people that have been so successful that when they get to that success, they struggle receiving it And what they truly yearn for is a way to receive it. And the way to receive that and really let it in is to let in their innate nature that is always whole, independent of the external things that come and go. At the end of the day, we will all be drawn to what we truly innately are. And doesn't that make sense? So these words, this podcast, this episode, for me, my intention, my desire is to let this be a reminder for you. There's not as much you need to work on, but the real acceptance and the real transformation that is always seeking you is maybe accepting the everything and the beauty you've always been all along. And if these words sound like nice, fluffy words, that is totally okay and that makes sense. But that is our mind interpreting and defending itself. Whereas the more you feel into that space, the more you recognize that it really is what you are and what's always holding you at the very core. So I hope this episode helped you come more in touch with that essence so you can accept your power, your greatness, your qualities, because they will become more apparent and more clear to you the more you are connected to that essence within you, the more you are exploring that essence in you. It is going to help you express in your life and be in your life and show up in your life in a way that feels real to you and feels like your real self. Because it will bring light to the very patterns that are on top of your authentic, beautiful self. So I hope this episode was a helpful reminder of the everything that you are.